My name is Bree Camp, and this is my diorama of the ocean floor. I'll do a quick little 360 for you all. So I made my diorama. I thought that it would be a good idea to make it out of styrofoam. That's just what I envisioned in my head. It was actually way harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm in a jewelry and metalsmithing class this semester, and I used my tools in my toolbox, which were like a saw and a file, but it was just wearing me out to cut into this styrofoam. So I went ahead, this is where I intended to cut it down to. So I went ahead and left that line so you could see my intention, but I just did the best I could and just made sure this part of the mid-ocean ridge was wavy like that and the trenches were as deep as possible. I used little separate styrofoam cones for the volcanic island and the seamount and the mountains on land, and just painted it, and then used toothpicks and tape to make my labels. I know I didn't have to make labels, but it's just easier on all of us. So what I want to talk about first are the three main regions of the ocean floor, which are the continental margins that we have on the left and the right. On the left, we have the active continental margin, and on the right, we have the passive, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then we have the deep ocean basin and the mid-ocean ridge. Other features that I've included in my model is I did the depth and the width of the ocean, the continental shelf, continental slope, continental margins, volcanic islands, seamount, abyssal plain, the deep ocean trenches, and then another continental shelf and slope on the other side, as well as a continental rise. So that brings me to the different margins. The passive margin on the right here has a continental shelf, a continental slope, and a continental rise. The active margin has a continental shelf and a continental slope as well, but no rise. The continental slope just goes deep into the ocean trench. Oceanic crust actually collides with continental crust, and it forms these trenches. So that brings me to my next topic on how plate tectonics are related to features. First, we have the deep ocean trenches. So as I just mentioned, the oceanic crust collides with continental crust, and since the oceanic crust is so much denser, it's what goes underneath and it forms this trench. What forms the mid-ocean ridges is where the plates are dividing. So the deep ocean basin and the trenches are where they're colliding, and mid-ocean ridges are where they're dividing. Other features that are related to plate tectonics are the continental margins and volcanoes.